Welcome to Big Ideas Small Business. I'm Doreen Milano, your show host, and today we're going to be talking about a super heavy subject, probably the heaviest subject we've covered to date. And we're going to be talking about suicide prevention and how to support people who are contemplating and or have experienced someone in their life committing suicide. So we're going to bring a lot of solutions and a lot of resources for you to really understand and use if this is going on in your family. So again, Doreen Milano, Visions to Excellence, and this is Big Ideas Small Business. We'll be right back.
You're tuned into Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano. Doreen brings energy, focus, and creativity with the most cutting-edge tools and systems needed to grow business, drive profits, and achieve dreams. Ready to rise? Here's your host, Doreen Milano.
Welcome, Big Ideas Small Business. I'm Doreen Milano. My guest today is Lori Crider. And I met Lori when I first moved to Dallas. And we connected because she was really interested in suicide prevention. In fact, that is one of the reasons that she showed up in Dallas. She moved here because she was directed to be here, to really do some significant work in our community about suicide prevention and providing solutions. Welcome, Lori.
Thank you, Doreen. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the opportunity to share more about suicide prevention and what we can all do to bring hope to people who are struggling.
And this is the big deal. I mean, it's something that I'm aware of because in the business I was in, there were people that were committing suicide, not regularly, but it happened a lot. And my son experienced 3 of his friends committing suicide before he was 12. And so the topic is a heavy topic, no matter what. And knowing what we can do and knowing what resources are available is why you're here. So tell us more about what can be done when we suspect that somebody's going through a hard time.
Well, first of all, we need to really need to be cognizant that something is going on. Look for those signs. If someone is pulling away from things that they used to enjoy, if they're isolating themselves, maybe they're giving away possessions, those are all signs that they may be preparing for something. So the key thing is to talk to them and to ask. It is really okay and helpful to say, are you thinking of hurting yourself? Are you thinking of ending your life? A lot of people think that's going to cause somebody to go take action, but in fact it doesn't. It will show, even if they're not contemplating suicide, it will show concern for that person, and they'll feel hopeful that somebody cared enough to even reach out to ask that. So that's where we could start.
Well, that's news to me because I never thought that asking that question, are you going to hurt yourself? Or are you contemplating hurting yourself, would be the appropriate thing to start the conversation with. So knowing that's a huge change.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, you have several groups that you belong to.
Correct.
With regards to suicide prevention. We're in the same Rotary Club, it's an E-Club, and its focus is suicide prevention and brain health, right?
That's right.
So when we talk about that, one of the things I find really interesting is that there are certain circumstances that happen in our lives that are difficult for us to deal with. And those things can create a situation where we are faced with suicide. One of them is human trafficking.
Yes.
So those people that have been put in that position of being trafficked can have these suicidal tendencies. Drug addiction is another piece.
Yes.
That happens to create a situation where we contemplate suicide. Veterans, huge suicide issue.
Yes.
So how can we support the people in our lives that are having difficult times, besides having the conversation?
Besides having the conversation, just caring, just reaching out in general to check on them, just being kind to even strangers. We have no idea what people are going through.
Absolutely.
And that could make a difference in someone's life just by being kind to a stranger. You know, as we've come through the pandemic, that's put depression and all sorts of mental health issues onto people that normally haven't struggled. So we just need to really be kind to everyone because we really don't know what they're going through.
And I would suggest that because we're all, been exposed to these depressing situations because of the last 2 years of stuff that's gone on, I think that we don't recognize in ourselves or our neighbors that they are depressed or that we are depressed. We don't recognize our mental health as part of our everyday lives, right?
Right.
How do we address this?
We have to think about self-care, I think. We can't really take care of others if we're not taking care of ourselves. So we have to look at self-care to get through these things too. So that could be different things for different people. You know, a nice hot bath might be good for somebody. A nice walk in the woods may be good for others. There's health benefits of being out in nature that we don't even fully understand. The sights and the smells that are out there, very beneficial. But really, self-care is so important so that we can be prepared to care for others.
Which is amazing. And that's one of the things you've been up to.
Yes.
Of late. I mean, the last 2 years?
Yeah, I started really focusing January of 2020, right before the lockdown. So I wanted to be active every day. And the way that I was doing that was to do 10,000 steps every day. And I was going to the gym originally. It was early, or late winter and really cold. So I was going to the gym, but lockdown in March happened and those shut down. So I made it a point of being outside, if at all possible, every day, and definitely hitting that 10,000 steps every day. So I had reached a point of 101 consecutive days of at least 10,000 steps and ended up getting a bad sinus infection that shut me down for a few days. But I started back again. Once that cleared up, I started back again and worked up to 301 consecutive days. Well, that was Snowmageddon of 2021. And I was trying to travel to Alabama for my dad's memorial service.
Right.
And it was the Friday of the Snowmageddon episode, and I-20 was shut down at the Louisiana border, but we didn't know. So I was stuck in miles and miles of traffic of mainly tractor trailers, and we couldn't move. I was right on the exit ramp of the Wascom exit, and I couldn't make it to the exit to get turned around. I spent the night on I-20 in a line of tractor trailers and couldn't make it to my dad's memorial service. So my street came to a crashing burn. In retrospect, no traffic was moving. I could have paced that little open lane and hit that, but hindsight's 20/20. So
on top of that, it was cold and it was snowing. I mean, come on.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was nice and clear, and it warmed up to 19, which after all that time of near zero, felt actually pretty decent. But I was thankful to at least make it out of that. And so the next day, I just started the streak again. And so today, I have 388 consecutive days with at least 10,000 steps. And that's as of yesterday. So when I hit the goal today, it'll be 389.
Yay.
So thank you.
That's wonderful.
And my goal is 501 since the first series was 101. Second was 301. The third, in memory of my dad, is 501. So
wonderful.
As crazy as that sounds, had it not been for that one day, I would be at 689 consecutive days. So But that's been really good for keeping my mental health in order. It's been very encouraging, and doing it outside has been very, very helpful.
Well, let's continue this discussion in just a minute. We're going to take a break, and we're going to listen to our sponsors. We'll be right back.
A polished look says a lot about you. In under 3 seconds, that first impression can open and close doors. Japrive has the brands you love to wear. Style & Company, Pistola, Aiden, Vince Camuto, and more. 165 labels with fit that flatters. Japrive.com. Japrive ships from Farmers Branch, Texas. Ask us about local DFW fashion shows that bring Japrive right to you. Upscale fashion doesn't have to be expensive, and you don't have to dig through racks of clothes that end up damaged and missing buttons from being tried on over and over and over again. Japrive.com is your answer to fine clothing in casual, career, and formal wear. Make a name for yourself. Do it in style. Japrive. Japrive.com. Name brand apparel without the department store prices.
Business runs Interested in starting a podcast or TV show? Worried about what you'll say and how to keep it engaging? Think you'd like to be a guest on podcast, radio, or TV shows? Hi, I'm Susan Hamilton, owner and founder of OBBM Network, and I would like to invite you to an OBBM media training to get the tools you need for a relaxed and polished performance you'll be proud to share. Our specialized training techniques include role play, voice training, and everything you need to deliver a confident, clear, and engaging interaction. Go to offbeatbusiness.com. Go to the calendar and register for a training that's convenient for you. Dates available now, 214-714-0495.
My American dream is to help you stay healthy and energized so you can live your American dream.
Our American dream is equipping future generations of American dreamers.
My American dream is to protect my community so they can live their American dream.
My American dream is to bring you some spice and flavor to your life.
Our American dream is ensuring what's most valuable to you.
Our American dream is creating opportunities for healthcare providers so they can have their American dreams.
My American dream is serving our business community and advocating for all of your American dreams.
Welcome back to Big Ideas Small Business. We're here with Lori Crider, and our subject today, although it's a heavy one, it is one that I think is vitally important, and we're talking about suicide prevention. Welcome back, Lori.
Thank you.
So, Lori, tell us what got you involved in suicide prevention. How did that come about?
So it was 2015, April of 2015, when my 20-year-old nephew took his life. And it really was quite a surprise to all of us. He was very involved in his church. It was a shock to his church. But he wasn't talking about it. And he actually wasn't displaying really any of the signs to look out for, such as withdrawing from activities that
Right.
he loved. He was making plans. So those signs weren't there. But clinical depression does run in my family. My grandmother on my mother's side struggled with clinical depression until she died a few years ago in her late 80s. She had to be on antidepressants until she died. She would start feeling better and would stop taking them. and then she would start to decline again.
Yeah.
So she had to stay on them, and so that's a good thing. Medications can be very helpful. It's not necessary for everyone, but if it's clinical depression you're struggling with, then probably medicine is going to be needed to control that. But Jessie, we now know, did have the clinical depression, also suffered from anxiety. So we just didn't know then what we don't know. But depression is involved in a big percentage of suicide deaths. So Jessie's death in April of 2015 made me decide I've got to take action, because I've known other people that have died by suicide too. Back in the late 90s, one of my aunts took her life, a friend in 2005, I've had a cousin. So with Jessie, I thought I've got to take action. So I learned about the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
Wow. Okay.
And that is a fantastic organization doing so much to not only prevent suicide, but also to bring resources, advocacy, and the prevention to play. So I learned about that and learned that there was going to be an Out of the Darkness walk in October. They're all over the country. This one was in October here in Dallas. And so I got involved in that, put a team together for that, and went out and walked in that, and met at one of the resource tables a lady named Dawn Anderson, who facilitated a group that she actually formed called Christian Survivors of Suicide Loss Support Group. And at that time, it met at Highland Park United Methodist Church, which is, again, another church that's very involved in trying to meet not only spiritual and physical needs of people, but also the mental needs. So I started going to her support group, and everybody was just so great. I mean, it's an opportunity to gather with people who know that same loss, because somebody who hasn't lost someone to suicide doesn't know. It's not the same loss as something else. So to be in a place that's safe to talk with other people who know that same loss was very helpful. And so when you mentioned earlier, Doreen, about being guided to Dallas, I now know why I've ended up in Dallas, and it's because now we offer at First Baptist Church of Dallas, downtown, we offer the Christian Survivors of Suicide Loss Support Group. And to see the change that it makes in people is really amazing. We started that back in January of 2020, right before the lockdown. So we started in person, and we had to move to virtual. But we're back in person, and some of these people have been involved with us since the very beginning. And to see them go from such a tragic, hard loss into now being able to laugh with us, it's just amazing what has really happened there. So this, again, came from a start with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And that, I'm really happy to say, too, is a 4-star rated charity with Charity Navigator. And so the funds that go into that go into meeting the needs of people.
Lori, we've talked about a very, very heavy subject. Let's start with something a little bit lighter. A couple of years ago, before the pandemic, you went and got a couple of tattoos, and they were specifically semicolons.
Yes.
What is the significance of the semicolon?
The significance of the semicolon is when a writer is writing, there's a choice to put a period or to put a semicolon and keep the story going. So that's the impact of the semicolon is in our lives where we could make that choice to end our life. We use the semicolon to keep going another day. So the reason I did the tattoos at that point was another one of the Out of the Darkness walks, and a tattoo artist over in Arlington was giving all of the funds brought in from the sale of these tattoos to the AFSP. So I liked both of these. I liked the heart one and I loved the butterfly one, and I couldn't decide. So
You
I
got
thought,
one on each
I'm
wrist.
getting one on both, and the funds are all going to AFSP. So,
which is wonderful.
they're really great. I can't stress the importance of that organization enough, and that the funds go to where they're going. So there is actually another Out of the Darkness walk coming up at, I think it's April 30th at UT Dallas. It's a campus walk. So that's another really good way to get out, and it's really uplifting. You know, you may think, well, that's kind of depressing, but it's really uplifting to gather around with other people who are out to support the cause. Some may be struggling themselves, many have lost someone, but it's a great opportunity to get out there.
Wonderful. And the Rotary is going to be part of the support group for that walk. Is that not
That's
correct?
right. We'll have a resource table out there. We'll have a team that's walking. So it's exciting. It's going to be a really great event.
And we're hoping for lots of sunshine.
Yes.
So as we move forward, what are some of the resources that are readily available here in Dallas to support people who are either contemplating suicide or are the survivors of someone in their family or someone that they know from suicide?
So one is the AFSP. That is a national organization, but with local points. So there's a North Texas chapter that's very active here. So that is one way. Another big national resource with also a local chapter is the NAMI group, which is the National Alliance for Mental Illness. So that's great. It has different support groups too. A lot of resources there that can be very helpful. So those two, there is, besides my support group offered through First Dallas Baptist, who my co-facilitator is Pam Green, she's also a member of our Rotary Club,
right.
And she is the Director of Counseling for Pathways Counseling, which is the counseling arm of First Baptist Dallas. So we've got actually a professional with us in my support group, which is pretty helpful. But besides we call it CSOSL because Christian Survivor Suicide Loss Support Group takes a long time to say, so I will refer to it as CSOSL now. But Dawn Anderson, who is the original person that formed that concept, has a group at Lover's Lane Methodist. They do meet via Zoom. So some people are still preferring to meet virtually rather than in person. So there's that option. Our current club president for our Rotary Club, Shirley Weddle, offers a support group through First United Methodist Church of Mesquite. That is also a virtual meeting. Terry Hartman, who is our treasurer for our Rotary Club, offers the same type of group at First Methodist Richardson. And so there are many different ways to get involved in that for someone who's actually had a loss of someone to suicide. So there's those.
So let's pause for a moment. We'll get back to this. Great resources. We're going to stop a moment. We're going to talk to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Interested in starting a podcast or TV show? Worried about what you'll say and how to keep it engaging? Think you'd like to be a guest on podcast, radio, or TV shows? Hi, I'm Susan Hamilton, owner and founder of OBBM Network, and I would like to invite you to an OBBM media training to get the tools you need for a relaxed and polished performance you'll be proud to share. Our specialized training techniques include role play, voice training, and everything you need to deliver a confident, clear, and engaging interaction. Go to offbeatbusiness.com. Go to the calendar and register for a training that's convenient for you. Dates available now, 214-714-0495.
My American dream is to help you stay healthy and energized so you can live your American dream.
Our American dream is equipping future generations of American dreamers.
My American dream is to protect my community so they can live their American dream.
My American dream is to bring you some spice and flavor to your life.
Our American dream is ensuring what's most valuable to you.
Our American dream is creating opportunities for healthcare providers so they can have their American dream.
My American dream is serving our business community and advocating for all of your American dreams.
A polished look says a lot about you. In under 3 seconds, that first impression can open and close doors. Jeprive has the brands you love to wear. Style & Company, Pistola, Aiden, Vince Camuto, and more. 165 labels with fit that flatters. Jeprive.com. Jeprive ships from Farmers Branch, Texas. Ask us about local DFW fashion shows that bring Jeprive right to you. Upscale fashion doesn't have to be expensive, and you don't have to dig through racks of clothes that end up damaged and missing buttons from being tried on over and over and over again. Jeprive.com is your answer to fine clothing in casual, career, and formal wear. Make a name for yourself. Do it in style. Jeprive. Jeprive.com. Name brand apparel without the department store prices.
And we're back. Lori Crider, I'm Doreen Milano, and we are talking about suicide prevention, and the next topic that we're going to talk about is how Rotary is really stepping up and providing resources. Like our Rotary Club, its focus is suicide prevention and brain health, but there are Rotary clubs that do other things, right?
That is correct.
And one of them is about human trafficking, or stopping human trafficking.
Right. It's a mission to end human trafficking. And so Rotary clubs are now popping up both virtually and in person. These Rotary clubs to end human trafficking are popping up. There is one which is a satellite club of the Greenwood Rotary Club. So the members of that satellite club are actually part of the Greenville Club, but they're operating as a satellite, and they may become their own functioning club, soon in the future. But that one is one that meets in person. There are also ones that are virtual, like our Suicide Prevention Brain Health Club. So it's such an issue that it's really huge, and most people probably are not aware of the scope of it. So it's exciting that these clubs are popping up to bring resources to try to help us to know what to look for and how to be of help to somebody that may be involved in the trafficking. Because I know for me, finding out what it really looks like is not really what I thought of it in the past.
Correct. So let's step back a second and let's give a little primer here. A lot of people don't understand what Rotary is. They just, it's a club, right? But it's a service-based club.
Yes.
And it's a worldwide service-based club. And there are chapters all over the world in every single country and each chapter has its own mission.
Yes.
Right? And when we talk about Rotary and we talk about, these missions that each club has, it could be anything. There are clubs that are focused on bringing water, safe drinking water. There are clubs that are focused on suicide prevention. There are clubs that are focused on human trafficking. There's clubs that are focused on leadership for kids. There's all kinds of things that are going on. But if you aren't a member of a Rotary, or you want to know more about a Rotary, how do we get a hold of Rotary to be able to get more information?
Well, you can go to rotary.org and you can request information there, and it will be sent to the appropriate area for which you would be interested. So that's one way to do it. You can reach out if you know someone who's a Rotarian. I always love connecting people to Rotary clubs, wherever that may be, whether it's here locally in Dallas or if it's across the country or even the world. So certainly reach out to me or other Rotarians. You are a great resource to reach out to.
Absolutely.
For that, we would love to connect people.
And it's really important whether it's suicide prevention or any other issue, connect with people that are in that tribe that you want to support. It's an important thing.
Yes.
It's not just you alone, it's a bunch of people together, and every little step helps. It makes a difference. So as we move through this and end up this show in a few minutes, what are the important pieces that we need to remember? What is it that we don't know that we need to know as we move forward and we're looking at preventing suicide?
First, I would say just be kind to everyone. Sometimes that can be difficult, but it really is important to be kind to everyone because we do not know what someone is struggling with. So that, look out for the signs in people that you know. Even look out for those signs in yourself because we all can struggle. In fact, 1 out of 4 people will struggle with some sort of mental health concern in their lifetime. So it's very common. So be on the lookout for those changes in behavior. Maybe they're withdrawing from things they used to like to do. When you see these things that are not normal for them, then ask about it and encourage them to get help. And even if it's yourself, encourage help because that is really a strength to reach out and get help.
Absolutely, I agree with that. The other side of what we need to talk about here is how do we support someone who is a loved one has committed suicide? And that's another piece that I think people struggle with. What do you say? How can you support them? Because it's different than, a regular death in the family.
Right. I think it's good to be careful to say too much because unfortunately some people, they mean very well, but they say just the wrong thing. More importantly is just to be there to support, to let them know you are there and you care for them. And, even if you don't know what to say, that's okay. It's just the presence of being there is the most important thing.
So be there, be support.
Yes.
Don't try and be anything else.
Yes.
That is a great point. It is a great point to just be there and be in support. It's an uncomfortable place to be, ladies and gentlemen. It's not always comfortable to just be there and be in support. Just be there and be.
Because the other part of the issue is some people, because they don't know what to say, they just don't support at all. So they stay away. And that's more hurtful. Just
good point.
Be there without even feeling like you need to say anything. That's okay.
Bring your favorite cookie recipe. So thank you so much for watching. This is Big Ideas Small Business. Have a blessed day. Talk to you soon. The fact is, business has changed. Engagement has changed. And for us to recover our businesses and our communities, we have to engage differently. If you want to have a serious conversation about engagement, community, and your business, call me, Doreen Milano, Visions to Excellence. I'm an executive coach. You can reach me at 650-483-5798 or contact me online at v2e.biz. That's capital V, number 2, e.biz. Let's have a conversation.
This has been Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano. Doreen Milano solves problems for small and mid-market family-owned businesses and service-based industries. To work with Doreen, go to v2e.biz. For guest and sponsorship information, call 650-483-5798. Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano is produced by Offbeat Business Media for the OBBM Network. For OBBM Network programming information, call 214-714-0495. Unauthorized use of any part of Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano without prior permission through the OBBM network is strictly prohibited.